What's up? Happy Thursday. Welcome on into Let's Bet It. Lauren Jabbar here with Mark Zinno. Zinno, it's been like a whole week since I've seen
I
you.
know.
How the heck are you doing?
I'm okay. I was going through a little Jabbar withdrawal. I went into a dark
Oh,
hole, cried in a closet, stopped
as
eating.
one
But
does.
I have since resurfaced now that you are back from your many travels and joining us here on Let's Bet It. So it's great to have you back in the saddle there, girl. Always great to be alongside you.
Thank you. Yes, it's really nice to be back in Atlanta. I'm happy to be here, but we have a lot to talk about today. First of all, before we get into obviously our Better Up segment, we're going to break down some win totals in the NFC West with Odegard. I was like, it's like Syndergaard, but Odegard. Let's talk about the PGA Tour for a second because it was announced that Tiger and Rory are teaming up. They're launching a primetime virtual golf league, which is going to have a 2-hour, 3-on-3, 18-hole, full-on matches on a virtual course that will take place on Monday nights beginning in January of 2024. 15 regular season matches, so it's going to be 15 straight weeks. Your thoughts on this new virtual golf league? Because I'm still kind of like trying to digest how I feel about this.
Well, look, I like the idea on its merit. I think it's
Yeah.
interesting. The fact that you can make it like made for TV, get it done in 2 hours, and make it sort of virtual golf that people can watch and consume differently, I think on its merit is interesting. However, this seems like a total act of desperation by the PGA to do anything to divert our attention away from live golf. This feels a
Mm-hmm.
lot like the husband who forgot their anniversary and then comes home the very next day with the extra big bouquet of flowers to say, hey, look how much I really care. Yeah, if you had done that before the anniversary, like it would have went over a lot better. And while this is great that Tiger Woods and Rory McIlroy are going to be doing this and they're going to be part of it, at the end of the day, if Tiger's not the
Yeah.
one on TV, I don't care. Like I have no desire to watch a putt off between Scotty Scheffler and Patrick Cantlay. Lauren Jabbar's Instagram is more fun than that. Like I don't know
Thank
what I would
you.
want to sit there for 2 hours and watch that back and forth. It's fun on its merit. And like we all love to go do virtual golf. We all go to Top Golf, shout out plug. We all, like that's fun for us to do that sort of stuff. And it's fun to watch, but it's like after a while, how intriguing can it really be? So
I mean,
when
this
it's not
could be
Tiger,
Yeah, Tiger could be able to participate because I think that one of the things he was struggling with is walking the 18
yes,
holes after
yes.
recovering from his injury. So this could be a way for Tiger to get back into it without all of the
It,
physical strain on his body. I don't know.
right.
I don't know if that's like the plan for it. Obviously, this is in very beginning stages, at least for us as fans. For them, they've probably been working on it for quite a while now. But who knows how this is going to turn out? Like, do you think this is something that Tiger could possibly be playing in? Because I agree with you. I don't want to see a putt off between Scotty Scheffler and anybody else at that point.
Right. I mean, like it doesn't answer the mail. Like, yes, Tiger
Yeah.
being part of it is good, but at the end of the day, it's not going to outrate a major, right? Like Sunday of a major, it doesn't even matter if Tiger's in it or not. More people are watching that than watching a virtual putt off. Like, I don't know that that's going to move the needle the way they think it is from that standpoint. It could, but at this point, I don't see it. I'd have to see a couple of iterations of whether it's actually worth investing time in watching. And also, when you do it really matters. If you do this during football season, no one's going to give a rip. Like,
Well,
isn't
yeah, in
that the
January,
downside?
everyone on Monday night is going to be watching either Monday Night Football or the Manning Brothers broadcast because that's what we all do
Right.
on Monday nights.
So, I mean, it's like one of those things. When are you doing this? Like, because the best time to do it would be during the summer. But in the same respect, are golfers going to leave the tour to go do this event or this TV series thing? Like, I don't know when you actually make this happen. Um, I appreciate the PGA's tour to try and do some things, but it reeks of desperation. Like honestly, it's the try too hard guy
Yeah.
in the bar at 2 a.m. Just it stinks. Just get away.
Ain't nobody has time for the 2 a.m. guy at the bar, let me tell you. All right, we have a lot to talk about today. Our Better Up segment, we're going to get into some baseball. NFC West preview with Kyle Odegard. We're going to have him on previewing some win totals from the NFC West. And then college football, baby. It's here. It is here in full force this weekend, and I am so excited about it. I'm going to be on the show tomorrow and Saturday, so I'll give out a lot of my picks then. Zeno, you're not going to be, so you're going to give out your picks today. But first of all, let's get into our MLB segment. Is the trend your friend? Rays versus Angels. The Angels 0-11 in their last 11 versus the AL East. So Rays money line. How do you feel about it?
This would be a friend, and I don't have many. So this is actually part of my POD. So we'll dive into a little bit more later, but I would back this trend as the Angels are clearly just playing out the string and the Rays have a whole lot to play for.
Yeah. What about the Mariners? Guardians over. The Mariners 7-1 to the over in their last 8 games against the American League teams.
Yeah, that one came yesterday when they scored 1 run. And they lost the game 3-1. Like, how annoying was it? Because, look, one of my plays yesterday was the Mariners to go over their team total. And, they didn't get close. So I thought they would be able to jump all over, some mediocre pitching and score some runs. And so, I don't – the Mariners' offense is perplexing to me. Their pitching is fantastic, which is why they're winning a ton of games. But for them to go over a total, I don't know how much I like it at this point. They're just playing baseball a different way, and that's more low scoring. So I wouldn't friend this.
We have one friend, one unfriend. What about the A's taking on the Yankees? The under. I know this is crazy, but the Yankees are 5-0 to the under in their last 5 games.
Yeah, well, that's because they stopped hitting and stopped scoring. But this may be the elixir. Sometimes. Yeah, I know. This may be the elixir for the Yankees offense. After beating the Mets twice in a row, and granted, they didn't score a lot of runs in either one of those games. I think it was 4-2 and 4-1, whatever it was. But the Oakland pitching may be the elixir to get this offense going back on the right track. James Kaprielian is starting tonight. I like the trend. I just wouldn't back it. I would wait to see how it goes. I think the Yankees might snap out of it here against a bad Oakland team.
What about the Orioles versus White Sox under? The Orioles are 8-0 to the under in their last 9 against the American League. This is my last trend.
Yeah, you get who's starting for the White Sox, and I forget. Lance Lynn is starting for the White Sox against Jordan Lyles of the Orioles. This doesn't feel like a pair of understarters, if you ask me. Jordan Lyles is good. He's got like a just under 4 ERA. He's had some really good starts. But the White Sox offense has been putrid as of late. That's part of the problem. They haven't been scoring a ton of runs. But still, I don't like either one of these starters to keep runners off the base paths for 6 or 7 innings. So I'd probably go the other way.
I actually have a Jordan Lyles prop. I'm saving it for my play of the day. So little teaser for the end of the show. Why not? Let's get into your Mets play, though. The over 4.5 for team total. Why do you like that?
Going up against Colorado. Now, granted, the game is in Citi Field. It's not, at Coors Field. But still, Ryan Feltner, in 3 of his last 4 starts, has given up at least 3 runs. And he hasn't gone past the 5th inning yet in any of these starts. So part of that is because, again, his pitch count gets up. And the Mets are a team that will frustrate the hell out of pitchers because they're so patient and they work counts and everything else. But also you're getting a Colorado bullpen that's nothing to get excited about. So this is a low number and a good price. It's not an incredibly low number at 4.5, but there's enough there for the Mets to take advantage here. After an off day yesterday, there's a little bit of pressure on them to have to win today with the Braves not playing and getting it down to 1.5. They don't want to lose another game and make it a 1-game lead. So I expect the Mets bats at home to be very, very potent this evening.
I like it. They've been striking out a lot recently over their last couple of games. So hopefully they get their bats going. What about Aaron Nola? Over 7.5 strikeouts for me, and I'm laying 10 cents for it. The Phillies going up against the Cincinnati Reds. He has a 3.25 strikeout rate and a 3.25 ERA and a 28.2% strikeout rate. This guy has been on fire when it comes to punching guys out. He has been averaging 1.1 strikeouts per inning. This means he needs to go about 7 innings or so to be able to hit this number. And if he gets behind early, this is going to be tough to hit, but I am still really confident he can do it, especially against a team like the Reds, who have a 24.2% K rate, an 11.2% swinging rate, and they're averaging just under 9 strikeouts per game on the season. Their last game that they played in, they punched out 13 times, and Nola has hit this number in 3 of his last 4 starts, including twice against the Mets, who have one of the lowest K rates in the league. So with a guy like Aaron Nola, who's punching guys out on the Mets team who don't swing the bat a lot and strike out a lot, I think he's going to be able to do it against a team like the Reds, who are one of the worst teams in the Major League Baseball in terms of striking out. So I know the number's high. It's not too juicy, only laying 10 cents for it, but Aaron Nola, over 7.5 strikeouts. So I'm all about it. All right, let's take it from Major League Baseball, Zeno, and let's go to college football because I am so excited. We are back in the saddle today. Week 0, baby. Let's go. I'm giving out my picks tomorrow and Saturday, but I want to get into some of your picks. College football, the boys on the battlefield. Who you got heading into this weekend?
All right, I'm going to put 3 plays up there for this weekend. And all those are going to end up on the Pickswise website coming up later on today. Starting with the first game over in Ireland. Yes, to get Northwestern against Nebraska. My Irish accent stinks. Anyway.
Can you do that the whole tap, please? Thank you.
I could, but we would lose quickly viewers on YouTube the whole time. So let's, in the best interest of all of our paychecks and the show, let's just give the handicap as it is. But that's it. So if you wanted to take Nebraska, you missed the window. This line opened at -9. It is now at 13.5. And I believe this will get to 14 by the time they kick this thing off across the pond in Dublin. There you go. Nice one. So I'm back in Northwestern here in this spot. Now, Nebraska destroyed Northwestern last year 56-7, but there's been a bunch of changes on both sides of the ball. Both of these teams only return 5 starters on defense. You get Ryan Helsinki taking over at quarterback for Northwestern, the transfer from South Carolina. This is sort of a little bit of a revenge spot for the Wildcats here. I think Nebraska still wins the game, but I don't know if they do it in a 56-7 drubbing style fashion. Northwestern getting a ton of points here, so I'll back the Wildcats. Vanderbilt and Hawaii. Oh, Hawaii. Hawaii. Never been, but seems like a nice place to go. Anyway, Vanderbilt's laying 6.5 here and a total of 55. The side doesn't interest me that much because I just don't know. Look, Hawaii's projected to be one of the worst teams in the nation this year, and Vanderbilt is projected to be one of the worst team in the SEC and a very mediocre team across the board. Theoretically, Vanderbilt should have enough talent to dominate and win this game just because they're an SEC school. That said, their defense is still really bad, as is Hawaii's. I look to the over here, 55, as points will be scored rather easily. Neither one of these teams play defense. If Vanderbilt can do their part, we know Hawaii can at least throw the ball. They've had some changes on offense as well and at quarterback, and that should be enough for them to put up points on a bad Vanderbilt defense that was giving up, 35, 40 points a game. Granted, it was against SEC talent, but still, I would look to the over here and points to be scored in the very last game on the first college football weekend of the season. Then Illinois, Wyoming, going under 44 here. Can't lay points with Illinois offensively. Just can't. I mean, their offense is bad. It's really hard for me to trust them. But Wyoming's had a bunch of turnover on their offense too, and they are not as high scoring and potent as they will be last year. But Illinois' defense was fantastic last year. Brett Bielema will have them equally as good. Plus, Illinois loves to run the ball. They'll grind this pace down. Under 44 here seems very viable for these two teams given where they are. So I'll have a bigger write-up on the website in both of these games coming up later, on all 3 of these games rather, coming up later today. So check it out at pickswise.com.
I love it. What's worse for you, the under sweats or the meat sweats, Zeno?
Yeah, I mean, I love some under sweats, but nothing beats meat sweats. Like when you're just full and bloated,
so
and there's like salt, coursing through your veins, and the only way water can escape is through your forehead. Like,
We're taking it from boys to men. Boys to men, heading into the NFL from college football. Let's bring in Kyle Odegard to chat the NFC West. He's a compare bet editor and former Arizona Cardinals reporter, which we're going to get into in a second. Kyle, how the heck are you? Happy Thirsty Thursday. What's going on?
I'm doing well. Glad I didn't get the sweats question. I'm glad I came in right now.
I mean, we can ask you. Do you bet a lot of unders? Do you like the under sweats? Do you like the meat sweats?
I tend to. I don't know if it's just a pessimistic side of me or what, but I do enjoy betting unders.
I mean,
It's
so
not
does Zeno.
it's
So you
not
guys just
pessimistic.
became,
It's smart. It's smart.
yeah, you got, it's like step brothers. Did we just become best friends? Yup.
Yes.
Anyways, okay, let's start it out with the Seahawks, one of the worst teams in the NFC West, if not the worst team in the NFC West. It's a new era in Seattle. Obviously, no Russell Wilson, Geno Smith, Drew Lock battling it out for that QB1 position. How do you feel right now with their win total set at 5.5? Because I feel like neither of these quarterbacks really give you a good chance to go over this win total. I don't know. Maybe if they add Garoppolo, it may make this bet a little bit better. Who knows what's going to happen? But right now, their win total is set so low, and I still lean towards the under in this spot.
Yeah, and I do think if you added Jimmy Garoppolo, obviously that helps your team, but I think they're doing it right where they're obviously tanking. They're looking to try to get Bryce Young or CJ Stroud or a quarterback next year, and they're just taking their lumps this season. I do feel like
Mm-hmm.
Geno Smith would be the guy who could get you more wins. He's not as erratic as Drew Lock, and he's not going to turn the ball over as much. And you know what Seattle wants to do: run the ball, play defense, give Rashad Penny like 30 carries a game at this point. But yeah, I think the total's about right. The win total. The schedule is tough, and they obviously are going to have a tough time in the NFC West. But I do think Pete Carroll is a very good coach, and they can keep games close. So I think if you have Geno Smith and you play pretty good around him, I could see them getting to 6 wins. But I would probably lean under as well.
Yeah, Zeno, really quick before you ask about the Cardinals, I just looked at like looking at their schedule and looking at this team last season, even like Russell Wilson was kind of like putting a lipstick on a pig for me. Like he was able to hide the deficiencies of their offense. And without him, there's no lipstick. You're left with a pig, right? So I looked at their schedule and I see 5 wins at this point: the Lions, the Giants, the Falcons, the Jets, and the Panthers. Um, like that's the tough part for me is the hook. It's like where are they going to get that sixth win? I don't know. And with the NFC West, AFC West, Bucks on the schedule, that's at least 11 games where they're not necessarily going to be favored. So this is a really tough spot for me. But Zeno, ask about the Cardinals because obviously you know this team well, Kyle.
As much as I can't stand Cliff Kingsbury, he's Putz #1 of NFL head coaches. That said, this is a depressed win total for a team that should have no problem getting above 500. At the end of the day, this Kyle is an NFC West that will cannibalize each other a little bit from a division standpoint. It's not like the Cardinals are going to go 1-5 in the division or 2-4. They'll be 500. They'll be able to beat the 49ers. They'll be able to beat the Rams at some point. And if they do that, there's no reason to believe they shouldn't get to 9 wins and be above 500. Am I wrong?
I don't know. I feel like if we look at what's going on defensively with the Cardinals, there's a lot of concerns. Their cornerback group is pretty thin. Their edge rusher
Mm-hmm.
group is very thin. And those are obviously the two most important spots on defense. So I have those concerns on defense. You mentioned the schedule, which is really tough. My question is, can the offense kind of lift them? Obviously, you've got Kyler Murray, great quarterback, and I like the Hollywood Brown move this offseason. Can you weather the storm without DeAndre Hopkins, knowing you're playing Kansas City, the Raiders, the Rams right off the bat? I mean, if you start 0-3, are you already questioning things at that point in the season? So I'm actually leaning under at this point, and I think the defensive issues are going to be big, and the offense has to get to like a top 7 group, and they haven't quite been that yet. And without D Hop for 6 games, that's what pulls me back off of it because I think the start's going to be pretty rough.
Yeah, they started 7-0 last year, which is why people might look at this win total and be like, what the heck? I'm a little confused by this because they almost hit this win total by week 8, right? But they lost 4 of their last 5 regular season games. They were crushed by the Rams in the postseason with no DeAndre Hopkins for the first 6 weeks. Who knows how this team is going to do? I know last year they went 4-2 in their division, but with Wilson leaving the 49ers and them having a quarterback change, there's maybe enough winnable games to get over, but I honestly don't feel like you're right, Kyle. There's not a ton of value on this line at this point. A line that there might be a little bit of value but it's also kind of tough to cap because I feel like Vegas nailed it is the 49ers with their win total set at 10 right now. Like Trey Lance is one of, if not the biggest wild card in the NFL this season. He's going to be taking over under center at this point. I know his ceiling is higher than Jimmy G. Is he ready to lead this team, though, to a double-digit win? Because when I look at their schedule, I see them exactly hitting 10 this season and maybe pushing.
Very easy to make an argument either way on the Niners, right? Like you can say that Trey Lance is the number 3 overall pick who's going to explode now that he has the reins, or you can say we saw what he did last year. He looks raw and it's not going to work. But I just feel like the defense is so good. The supporting cast in San Francisco is so good. And I like what Trey Lance can do within that Kyle Shanahan offense. I think he's a really good fit for what Kyle Shanahan does. So I do like the over. I think the Niners can win the NFC West personally. I think the group they have is very impressive. And obviously it does come down to Trey Lance. And we have to see what he can do. But they're going to put him in a very good position to succeed. Kyle Shanahan is not going to ask too much of him. And can he make those throws? Because obviously he can run the ball. And that running game is going to be fun between him and the stuff they can do with their backs. But the question is, can he be accurate enough? Can he scan the field and do his progressions? But yeah, I'm a 49ers fan. I think that they have a lot of potential this season.
And then finally, you look at the defending Super Bowl champions, the Los Angeles Rams. Does the elbow injury with Matt Stafford concern you at all? You know, they've had some losses on defense, but still they have Aaron Donald there. Expectations are going to be high. And again, this is also what feels like a little bit of a lower win total just because of the division that they play in and the level of opponents that they play. Can they eclipse this 10.5 number?
Yeah, I kind of wonder if regression might be coming for the Rams. They were pretty healthy in a lot of good spots last season. I mean, Matthew Stafford had probably career year. Obviously, Cooper Kupp did. Aaron Donald did his thing. Jalen Ramsey did his thing. And when you're so top heavy, I question, like, are you going to get those 1 or 2 key injuries? And you already mentioned Stafford. Like, okay, what if he has this lingering issue and it affects his performance or he misses games? I just feel like this is a team that, yeah, if everybody stays healthy, obviously you've got Super Bowl potential again. It's a great team, but I do wonder, like, is Cooper Kupp going to do that again? Now that you don't have OBJ and Von Miller, how much does that hurt? So I'm actually leaning toward the Rams coming down a bit. And like I said, I know it would be a more of an underdog pick, but I think the Niners can surpass them and win the division and have the Rams second.
Yeah, I actually totally agree with you. So when you look at the 49ers and you look at the Rams and their win total is about the same, they're both at plus money value to win the division. Who do you place your money on? Are you looking at the 49ers at plus 150 or the Rams at plus 130?
Yeah, and that's obviously closer than probably a lot of people think it should be. A lot of people would lean toward the Rams, seeing what they did last year, but I still like San Francisco at a little bit better value. I think, like we mentioned, the upside of that team is so high, and Trey Lance being that huge wild card, we'll see what happens. But I do like the Niners. I think you've got the pass rush on defense. You got Debo and George Kittle, and I like Ayuk a lot and what they can do with their line. So I'm leaning Niners on that one, especially because it is a little better value.
I don't trust Trey Lance.
Oh, no, you go, Zach. You go.
I have to see something. It's hard for me to know what he is and what he's going to be. I don't doubt Kyle Shanahan as a play caller or as a schemer for that matter, but I need a bigger sample size before I can put money in my pocket, money out of my own pocket on Trey Lance at this point.
It's going to be interesting to see what he's going to be able to do over the first couple weeks of the season. I honestly feel like he's going to get better as the season goes on, but it is going to be fun to be able to watch the 49ers and see the kind of success that they're going to have without Jimmy G under center. Okay, Kyle, one more question for you before we let you go. Outside of the NFC West, who do you see as maybe one of the biggest value plays to possibly win the Super Bowl this year that, we wouldn't necessarily be thinking of at this point?
I just wrote about them the other day on our site, compare.bet. And I like the Miami Dolphins as kind of like a long shot pick to win the Super Bowl. They kind of follow the formula of they have a rookie quarterback. We loaded the roster all the way around him, and we've seen that work the last few seasons. The Eagles come to mind with Carson Wentz, where they were really good with Carson Wentz because the roster was so stacked. And even when he got hurt and Nick Foles took over, they still won the Super Bowl. So I think the Dolphins are kind of trending toward that way with Tyreek Hill and Terran Armstead. And obviously it's an uphill climb, and we'll see what Tua can do. But I think that offense has a real chance to explode. And if it does, then maybe they're in that conversation. We're not putting them above the Bills and the Chiefs and the Chargers right now, clearly, but it's a team that I like that they have the cheap quarterback on a rookie deal. They've built a lot around him. They're really pushing in right now, and maybe that's a team that surprises.
I like it, Kyle. So appreciate your time. Thank you for coming on and giving us all of your insight on the NFC West. You are Compare.bet editor and former Arizona Cardinals reporter. Have a good one, and best of luck with your bets this season.
Appreciate it. Have a good one, guys.
Thank you, Kyle. That was Kyle Odegard. All right, Zeno, before we get into our best bets of the day, what about the Pickswise.com website? 3-star play of the day. Who do we got? I want to win some money.
Yeah, Mark Lemmy has a baseball play up there. Already another college football play for week 0. And of course, if you missed yesterday, Diane Knox-Ballas has her picks for the Tour Championship to win up on the website. So go check out all that as Eastlake gets underway today, right here in our backyard, Lauren.
I know. I think I'm going to actually go this weekend. I'm really excited about it. Probably on Sunday or something. Why not?
Have you?
Have I been to Eastlake? No, I've never been before.
Okay.
Have you?
It's amazing. It's amazing. Listen, it's amazing. It's in an area of Atlanta like you don't think a golf course should be, but it's beautiful. And oh, by the way, if you haven't been to a golf tournament before, it's great because you get to walk the grounds. But if you find like one of those little areas that's at a green where they got a bar on the inside and you can sit down, it's perfect. And get the Yeti cup, the Tour Championship Yeti cup that you can refill. It's worth it.
Okay.
Like the first drink is like $30, but it's well worth it because you just carry it around and refill it all day long. Your drink stays cool. It's got Tour Championship logo on it. And I could just see you with a hat and a Tour Championship cup and just walking around in high heels on a golf course, just doing the Lauren Jabbar thing.
Is that how I walk? Is that how I walk?
I don't think so. I don't know, but it just kind of feels like, you're peppy.
I'm not that girly, but no, honestly, I think I might go on Sunday. Why not? I've been to the Ryder Cup before at Oakland Hills, which is obviously the clubhouse that burnt down in Michigan. But that was an incredible, incredible event. I was so excited when I got Kenny Perry's autograph. Like, what am I like? Why?
Okay.
Why? I was, and
Okay.
then VJ Sink was so not mean, but like I asked him for his autograph, and he's like messing around on the putting green, like not even getting ready because we went during one of like the practice days, and he goes, "I'm working here," and I'm like, well. Okay, then I'm like 12, and I was just so disappointed, but it was really cool. I got Kenny Perry's autograph, and I was so excited about it. Oh, and Jim Furyk. So TBT back in the day. That was great.
Yeah.
Okay, let's get into our best bets of the days, and I'll let you go first with your over on your strikeout prop, and then I'll hit you with mine. 2K props today for the best bet of the day.
Let's you better get to the window quick on this one because the game starts in a couple of hours here. First game on the slate between the Angels and the Tampa Bay Rays. Drew Rasmussen on the mound for Tampa Bay. Number set at 5.5 and a very low juice at -112. Taking the over here. Now, Rasmussen isn't exactly a big strikeout guy. He's gone over this number in just about half of his starts, but he has done it 2 times in a row. Where he's excelled, however, this year is up against bad teams with high strikeout rates where he's gone over this number. The Cincinnati Reds, the Detroit Tigers, the Miami Marlins, the Baltimore Orioles. He's all exceeded this number against these high strikeout teams. What are the Angels? The worst strikeout team and strikeout percentage in Major League Baseball. And their K rate over the last 3 games is just under 30%. The big question for Rasmussen here is, can he get through 5 innings, possibly through 6 innings? If he does, he should have no problem going over this 5.5 number. This is set up well for him. Sleepy bats, early start, day game on the road where the Angels strike out more on the road than they do at home. If that's possible, they do. This is a great spot here for Drew Rasmussen to go over this 5.5.
To be honest with you, fading the Angels has been one of my favorite plays. Fading the Angels in terms of strikeout props has been one of my favorite plays the entire season. Every time I see the Angels, which is almost every day playing, I'm like, Fade the Angels strikeout prop. Fade the Angels because they are so bad when it comes to whiffing on the baseball. I mean, like, come on now. So honestly, I think I'm going to tail you on this one. I'm putting a half unit on it right when the show's done. For me, I look at a guy like Jordan Lyles, who's going up against the White Sox. I teased it a little bit earlier, but his strikeout prop is set really low. 4.5 right now, and I'm getting the over at plus money, plus 106. He has a 4.61 ERA and a 19.4% K rate. He's averaging just a little less than 1 strikeout per inning. It's about 0.9 Ks per inning. So this guy needs to go about 4 2/3 innings to hit this number, which for me, that's extremely possible. The White Sox are striking out right now at a 20.5% rate. They have an 11.7% swinging rate, and they're averaging 7.77 Ks per game this season, 6.33 over their last 3, which I know isn't a super high number, but they punched out 8 times in their last game. And you look at a guy like Lyles, he's hit this number in 3 of his last 4 starts that he's had, including a 9 strikeout performance and a 7 strikeout performance. So 4.5 seems extremely low. I know the White Sox don't strike out at an extremely high rate, but having a number this low at plus money, I had to hit it with the over. So Jordan Lyles, over 4.5 strikeouts at plus 106. 2K props as we're striking out from the show. All right, that's it for us today. Find us on the Pickswise YouTube channel. Go to pickswise.com. Follow us on Twitter. Mark Zinno, Lauren Javara. Have a great night, you guys. We'll see y'all tomorrow. Let's get it. Let's bet it.